Hello, welcome to Whole Foods Whole Health web class. My name is Amy Catherine, and I'm an integrative wellness coach. My background is in nutritional biochemistry. I attended West Virginia University Davis College of Agricultural Sciences, and I studied nutritional biochemistry there. My coaching certification was received through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in New York City, where I'm currently completing a specialization in hormone health. Today's class is all about having your meat and eating it too, while obtaining the benefits of a plant-based diet. Let's get started. First off, congratulations! Congratulations on taking the first steps towards better health. And today, what I will share is what it means to eat a plant-based whole foods diet, the benefits of eating a plant-based whole foods diet, and how to go about making the transition. So let's just get started. Learn the lingo. So let's start by reviewing some definitions. Whole food. What is whole food? Well, whole food describes natural foods that have not been heavily processed. So that means whole, unrefined, and minimally refined ingredients. So generally, when we say minimally processed or not heavily processed, when you look at an ingredients label, you want to see 5 ingredients or less. And those ingredients should be recognizable to you. They should be made up of whole foods, and avoid anything that you cannot pronounce. Also, whole foods mean whole from the source, so as close to the source as you can get it. Plant-based. What does plant-based mean? Well, it means exactly what it says. It means food that comes from plants. So whole foods plant-based diet is a lifestyle that is based on eating mostly plants. It excludes or drastically reduces, depending on the person, and we'll talk about that more, reduces animal products, including meat, dairy, eggs, and it also avoids the processed, highly refined foods, such as your bleached flours, your refined sugars, and refined oils. So think refined oils of those aisles of yellow cooking oil, vegetable oils in your grocery stores. Those are rancid. They've literally been processed way beyond the point that they can tolerate as far as heat. They go rancid and then they're actually deodorized. So, avoid those highly refined ingredients in a whole foods plant-based diet. Vegan. Okay, what is a vegan? The term vegan describes a lifestyle. So it literally is a lifestyle because it excludes, as far as possible, all animal products, not only for your food, but also your clothing, your furniture, your cosmetics, or any other purpose that you can think of. Vegetarian. Vegetarian is a more widely known lifestyle, and it excludes foods that consist of or have been produced with the aid of products or anything created from any part of any animal, living or dead. So this would include your meat, poultry, fish, and insects. Yes, some people eat insects. Vegetarians may or may not eat dairy and eggs. So that would be an person who consumes eggs. That's an ovo-vegetarian. And then we have the lacto-vegetarian, which are the people who include dairy in their diet. We also have a pescatarian. A pescatarian is a person that follows a vegetarian lifestyle, but also eats fish or includes fish oil supplements in their diet for health reasons. That's a pescatarian. Omnivore. So I'd say the largest majority of people are omnivores. That is a person who eats both plants made from, or food made from plants and animals. So we have an omnivore, a person that eats food of both plant and animal origin. Then we have carnivore. Carnivore follows a lifestyle that includes consuming only meat. And a newer term that has come about in the last decade is a flexitarian. A flexitarian is a person who is meat-free part of the time. So this is a growing trend over the last decade, again I said. And the term weekday veg was actually coined by Graham Hill in his TED Talk, which the link is included in the description of this video. So what is a weekday veg or a flexitarian? Well, the weekday veg means exactly what it sounds like. You consume a plant-based diet during the week. And according to Graham Hill, on the weekends, you eat anything with a face. So a flexitarian is someone who is eating meat. Only 30% of their diet is meat. Expand your palate. So now you might be thinking that a whole foods plant-based diet is going to be hard work or boring. I get that a lot. Avoiding animal ingredients does not limit your options. In fact, it requires you to become very creative in your food creating process. And it's really an opportunity for you to become innovative in the kitchen, and you can try and work with new ingredients. You really start to gain a deeper appreciation of food. It's an adventure, really. Food allows you to travel in your own home. You get to experience a variety of cuisines in your kitchen, make them from scratch. Now, sure, if you cook the same vegetables the same way day after day, and sometimes I'm guilty of doing that myself, you do get bored. But that's the case with any food, meat, potatoes, however you look at it. And by trying a plant-based whole food diet, you actually are giving yourself an opportunity to really explore, open up, and expand your palate. All right, so let's get into why. Why plant-based? Well, a ton of research has been done, and it provides us with excellent scientific evidence that many of the chronic diseases can be controlled, reduced, and even reversed by moving and switching to a whole food plant-based diet. Now, there's a book called The China Study, and it's noted as the most comprehensive study of nutrition ever. And what it shows is that a plant-based diet can reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, certain types of cancer, and many other significant illnesses. Now, these are pretty big claims. And the research done in the China study was a landmark study for many other studies after. And they all report more significant fitness payoffs, more energy, reduced inflammation, and overall better health outcomes. So let's look at the 3 categories of plant-based benefits. Let's talk about those. Number 1, easy weight management. The people who eat a plant-based diet tend to be leaner naturally than those who don't. The diet makes it easy to lose weight and keep it off without counting your calories. The fiber keeps you full longer, and you really can eat and not have to worry about counting calories. Disease prevention, number 2. We just covered that. We're going to go a little bit more deeply into this, but a whole food, plant-based eating prevents, halts, or even reverses chronic diseases, including the 2 big ones in the U.S., heart disease and type 2 diabetes. And number 3, you're going to have a lighter environmental footprint. A plant-based diet places much less stress on the environment. And when the farming is done appropriately, it contributes to a healthier environment. And it's also environmentally friendly on your wallet. So let's keep going. Let's go over some of the disease prevention benefits in more detail together. So a healthy heart. One of the most well-known benefits of a whole food plant-based diet is increased heart health. Yes. Did you know that a plant-based diet is the only diet proven to prevent and reverse heart disease? No other diet can make that claim. Researchers have been studying the benefits of plant-based diets since the 1980s. Recent research revealed that plant-based diets could reduce the risk of heart failure by 42% among people with no history of heart disease. And another study found that participants who consume a plant-based diet even showed a reversal of their heart disease. Now, the protective factors come from both the quality and types of food consumed. So, think again, whole foods. For example, a study published in the Journal of American College of Cardiology found that among 200,000 participants who followed a healthy plant-based diet that was rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, all had a significantly lower risk of developing heart disease than those who were not following a plant-based diet. So it's important to note here, again, whole foods. The study also found that the unhealthy plant-based diets, where people included sugary drinks, the fruit juices, and refined grains such as your white bread, were associated with an increased risk of heart disease. So again, going back to whole foods concept, right? We want minimally processed or non-processed foods. The big C. What is the big C? Cancer. Research suggests that following a plant-based diet may reduce your risk of certain types of cancer. There are 2 important factors to know when we discuss cancer. First, cancer cells thrive in a high sugar environment. So, when you starve the cells by reducing sugar, they cannot flourish. Number 2, while DNA can play a role in the risk of developing cancer, your diet, lifestyle, and environmental factors are modifiable conditions that also contribute. So this comes into the epigenetics. Those are your environment, your diet, your lifestyle has a huge factor in how your DNA is expressed, your genes are expressed. So vegetarian diets are associated with significantly lowering risk of your GI and your colorectal cancers right off the bat. Did you know that the American Cancer Society recommends that cancer survivors follow plant-based diets that are high in fruits, vegetables, unrefined grains, all while the same time being low in red and processed meats, refined grains, and sugars? So that's cancer survivors, to keep them protected. So if that is helping protect the cancer survivors as a preventative measure, it will also be a preventative measure for us. So here, let's talk about a list. research has shown that the plant-based diets positively affect survival in cancers. They found this in breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, skin cancer, melanoma. So the plant-based diets actually increase survival rate. So a whole food plant-based diet can help reduce your inflammation. It boosts your immune system. Decreases your body weight. And all of those are attributed to reducing your cancer risk as well. Diabetes prevention. Adopting a whole foods plant-based diet may be a useful tool in managing and reducing your risk of developing diabetes. Countless studies have examined the effects of diet and diabetes, and the results are super promising. So let's take a look. First study, more than 200,000 people, and this was published in a peer-reviewed weekly medical journal, found that those who adhered to a healthy plant-based diet eating pattern had a 34% lower risk of developing diabetes than those who followed an unhealthy non-plant-based diet. Also, similarly, a study published in Diabetes Care demonstrated that plant-based diets are associated with a near 50% reduction in the risk of type 2 diabetes compared to the non-vegetarian diets. So there's also good news for the people who have already been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. A study published in Cardiovascular Diagnosis and Therapy found that the plant-based diets have been shown to improve your blood sugar control in the people who have diabetes. So that's amazing. I think we all know that one. But let's talk about our brain. A plant-based diet in your brain. So we've got all these wonderful health benefits, and your brain is no exception. Plant-based diets appear to influence both mental health and your cognitive function in a positive manner. So the higher levels of antioxidants that you get in your blood from your plant sources have been associated with a significantly lower risk of depression and lower suicide rates. So in both cross-sectional and the interventional studies, vegetarians showed fewer symptoms of depression, anxiety, stress, and mood disturbance than those who ate both plants and meat. So the higher levels of antioxidants are also attributed to slowing the progression of Alzheimer's disease and reversing the cognitive deficits. So countless studies report an association between higher intakes of fruits and vegetables and a reduction in the cognitive decline of Alzheimer's disease. So we also have a meta-analysis, which a meta-analysis is a paper that takes the results of many studies and looks at them as metadata, an overview. So again, that's a review of several different studies of a similar subject so that they get a bigger kind of overview. And they find that eating more fruits and vegetables led to a 20% reduction in the risk of developing cognitive impairment or dementia. So that's a big number. And that analysis looked at 9 studies, and that included over 31,000 people. So a plant-based diet is also good for your brain and thinking clearly. Stunning results. Yes. So it's astonishing when you really look that something as simple as eating plants and eating a plant-based diet can make this significant for so many different chronic diseases and that we're faced with in America right now: Alzheimer's disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and your brain function. So I could keep going with more and more science-backed benefits of whole foods, plant-based eating. But I think we get the picture at this point. So If you have any questions, again, I want to remind you, put them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. I love communicating and interacting with you guys on my page. But let's keep carrying on. Let's now get into talking about food, my favorite subject. So now we're going to get into how to go about making the transition. How do you go from where you are now to eating a whole foods plant-based diet? Switching to that lifestyle is intimidating for most people at first. Any big change in life can be daunting. So instead of focusing on what you shouldn't eat or the foods to avoid, it's also been proven more effective to actually just start including more of the good stuff. So as you add the good stuff, the other stuff tends to start falling away as your palate develops to really start craving these foods. And that has a lot to do with your gut health as well, the bacteria that you're feeding. But that's a whole nother web class that I'll put on soon. So here's a quick overview of the major food categories that you can enjoy in a plant-based diet. Fruits. So yeah, this is obvious maybe, but apples, bananas, grapes, strawberries, citrus fruits. What's your favorite fruit? And vegetables. So you're going to get plenty of vegetables, including your peppers, corn, avocados, lettuce, spinach, kale, peas, collards, etc., etc. What else do we have? We have tubers or root vegetables, some of my favorite foods. Those are your sweet potatoes, beets, parsnips, carrots, potatoes. And then you have whole grains. Again, whole meaning including the entire grain. These are foods such as your quinoa, your brown rice, millet, whole wheat, oats, and barley. Even popcorn is a whole grain. Legumes, but I only buy organic, especially if it's no GMOs. Legumes. So that's beans of any kind. Plus, and it also includes your lentils, your pulses, and similar ingredients. And of course, there are endless amounts of food. We didn't even get into your nuts, and your seeds are included in this, which are some of my favorite plant-based foods. Health goals. All right, so how can we be successful in doing this? Well, it first starts with setting a health goal. Yes, success in any aspect of life comes down to setting a goal, right? Setting an intention, setting a goal. And here are the tips and steps to really outlining how to get there. First, you become aware of a need, which I think is why many of you are here now with me, listening to this web class. And the second, you want to envision the outcome. What benefit, what will your life look like? How will you feel? Get very specific. Like, what are the benefits? What activities? What will you get to enjoy by accomplishing? How will your life be more enriching when you accomplish this goal? I get excited about setting goals. And the third thing is then you set the intention. Say, okay, I know I need to do this. And if I do this, I'm going to reap all these benefits. And now I'm going to set the intention. I am going to accomplish this. That's your intention, this goal. And then I'm going to focus. I'll put my focus on this and take actions to achieve the goal. And the main important ingredient is having faith that by following these steps, you will reach your goal and the outcome that is best for you. And so a good way that I like to start is I look at a big picture. What is the big picture goal? And then underneath that big goal, you create your stepping stones, your smaller goals, bite-sized steps. And that's where the weekday veg comes into play, right? You set the smaller stepping stones that you can meet and achieve the big picture goal. For example, start with, where do you want your health to be in 10 years from now? That would be your big picture goal. From here, you look at smaller time blocks and you create smaller goals that will enable you to reach your ultimate goal. And it's always very important to use the SMART goal setting method. SMART is an acronym, if you haven't heard of it. S stands for specific. You want to be as specific as possible in your goal setting. M stands for measurable. How are you going to measure it? And that's going to depend on what your specific health goal is, and that will be completely individual to you. Did you recently have a physical or a health checkup and your blood work came back concerning, was your blood pressure high? What is your specific goal? How are you going to measure this? Do you have a weight goal? Do you have a body percentage goal that you want to reach, right? Achievable. So achievable means, how am I going to achieve this? When am I going to achieve this? And then R is for rewarding, and T is timely. You set the time limit, and they all work in together. So remember, any goal worth achieving is a goal worth working toward. All right, kitchen prep. So kitchen prep is so important. So you have your goal planned out. And now the first thing you want to do is you need to prepare your kitchen. We want to prepare a kitchen for success. This helps keep you on track to meeting your goals. So this means removing or putting foods that you're trying to avoid out of sight. Get rid of them or put them out of sight completely. And then start by adding items on the do list. And then you remove the items on the don't list. So what's on our do list? You want your greens, fruits, water, lemon, vitamins, legumes, nuts, seeds, vegetables. Your don't. Get rid of the sugar or the sugar substitutes. Caffeine can be eliminated. Caffeine is a big one that I could do a whole webinar on that one. Start by reducing that slowly, and I can walk you through that. Dairy, meat, processed food, soda. So these are for your weekday veg. You, especially the dairy, meat, you want to get, you'll include on your weekends. And once you get your kitchen ready, you have a well-stocked pantry now, and that's going to help you along your road to success. And eventually, as you move through this journey, you will want to start investing in some new equipment if you don't already have it in your kitchen, such as maybe a juicer or a quality blender or an immersion blender, and food dehydrator. So these are all nice to haves, and as you progress, you'll really get the benefit of them, but it's definitely not necessary for getting started. You will, however, want to invest in glass containers with lids. Those will help you do your food prep, which means if you got your food prepped and ready to go, you're more likely to be successful. You're setting yourself up for success when you do your kitchen prep. Very important. And then once your kitchen is ready to go, you're going shopping. So, first thing that I want to talk about, shopping. So when you're shopping, I want you to make sure you have time to just not only complete your shopping, but do it when you have a window to bring that food home and actually properly clean and prepare it. So some of us really dread food shopping and end up coming home with things. They're like, why did I buy that later? So to make it easier for yourself, especially when you are incorporating new meals into your diet, plant-based, right? You want to make it easier on yourself by doing a little bit of preparation and get a few recipes for the week. And once you know what ingredients that you need, you can make a list so that you have that list when you go to the grocery store. So you want to also, for the week, if you're doing your food prep, you want to look for recipes that maybe might have some similar ingredients so you can buy for the week in bulk and limit your prep time. And then you can rotate ingredients in and out week to week so that you have a larger variety and try new meals every week. And then when you're making out your lists, I want you to picture the grocery store in your mind and that you shop at, and list out the items that you have on that list per store department, so that when you go in, you hit it in order and you get what you need, like in the order of your list. That helps you stay organized and you finish through the store faster, so you're not going from one side to the next when you realize, oh, if you have it on your list in the order that you'll be passing it in the store, then it's just like boom, 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 boom. And to avoid getting bored with the same flavors and foods, you can try shopping at some of the local or ethnic markets. Look for different seasonings to cook with in ethnic markets. And if you have some free time, you might spice up some recipes, or find some recipes that are from different ethnic foods that you might like, and then go to that specific ethnic market and pick up what you need. You might actually find, and you will find, products that aren't offered in your regular grocery store this way. And also, when you attempt to purchase local produce, like local items is when they're available, they're going to be fresher and they're going to have less chemical exposure. If you're looking at CSA, and they also have a lower environmental impact generally. This is a great time of year in the spring to sign up for a local CSA. Everyone's taking sign-ups right now. So just Google CSA near me now, and those lists will come up. And another expert tip is when you're doing your grocery at the grocery store, to avoid bringing home the highly processed foods, you want to stick to the perimeter of the store. Stay out of the middle. This middle contains all the processed packaged items that you want to avoid. Okay, so prep time again. So this is what I was getting at before. Before you go shopping, make sure that you give yourself time for food prep once you return home. Trust me, you're going to be a lot more likely to use your produce if it's ready to go when you're hungry. So just make it a habit of washing and cutting everything before putting it away. This will save you time, because otherwise you're putting it away and then you're bringing it out and then you got to wash and cut. Instead, you have it out like you just brought it home. It's on your counters, and you just do your washing, rinsing, drying, chopping, put it in containers. There will be a link to the food storage class that I put on last week. If you didn't attend that, you can most certainly watch that video. Our busy schedules really prevent us from cooking fresh meals every day. So if you've got the ingredients ready to go, like, all you have to do is whip it up. And the thing that I love most about eating plant-based the majority of the time is that you have a meal so quickly. I cook my quinoa or whatever grain ahead of time. I put that in the refrigerator. Same thing, get my vegetables ready to go. All you have to do is boom, a meal is done in, like less than 20 minutes if everything's ready to go. And so that's where the glass containers with the lids come in handy. Also, those lids, depending, again, listen to the food storage class, but to make sure you're storing them for the longest, like for longevity, right? But your produce is typically going to last up to 10 days in the refrigerator. Your fresh herbs are going to be a little bit shorter of a lifespan. So buy those, in small batches. And yeah, you can actually buy herb plants for your kitchen. That's a really good idea. Put those in the window, and then you can just snip off what you need. And yeah, there you go. Ready to go in a snap. All right, so here's some tips to get started. Start by eating more of the plant-based meals that you already eat. What are your favorite meals that don't have meat? Or rice and beans, veggie stir fries, pasta with tomato sauce? Like, those are already vegetarian. So sift through your current food routine and pick out a few of the meatless meals that you already enjoy and start there. And then you want to shift the balance. So when you have a meal that you enjoy with meat, think about how you can make that without meat and add more vegetables to the mix. This is a fun way to cook and to get creative in your kitchen and enjoy vegetables in new ways. You don't, also keep in mind, you do not have to give up your favorite animal foods immediately or even indefinitely. I am asking in this webinar that you just open your mind to eating more plants, approaching it from a weekday veg point of view. Get creative with your kitchen, and or a flexitarian, right? Maybe it's easier for you to do some meat during the week. Whatever, be flexible. But 2 days are your meat days, and the other 5 days are your vegetarian days. So again, this is not a black or white issue, right? Black and white. Like, it's not black or white, like vegan or meat eater or carnivore, vegetarian. It's flexitarian. Be flexible and start enjoying some more food. And as your palate will start enjoying these rich foods. Like, your body is going to love you, and you'll start craving them because you're feeding your gut the healthy gut, like the healthy bacteria in your gut. Like, and as you feed those, they'll be getting the fiber, the prebiotics, and your body will begin to change and start craving these foods as you shift that microbiome in your stomach. So you want to start by cutting animal foods that you don't eat often anyway. So you're not eating those very often. So go ahead and cut back on those. And eventually, if you're not a fish eater, or, maybe try some healthier meats when you do eat your meat. And find other people eating plant-based, or invite your friends and family to join in with you on this journey. Look for some support. I'm offering a program at the end of this that there will be support involved in that group too, where you can meet up with people just like yourself, like you have done today here in this webinar. And when you start making changes in your life, it's easier when you involve others, and it's also it invites other people to also, the people that you love and care about. Like, it gives them permission to make healthy choices for themselves as well. And research from a Harvard study actually shows that just as like you might be influenced by the people's habits around you, who you surround yourself with, when you start making healthier choices, those choices affect those people around you, and then have a ripple effect 4 ways out. So find some support. Recipe time. All right, guys, for this web class, the recipes are posted. I got all of these from where I started my plant-based diet, my plant-based journey, Forks Over Knives. And just to note, plant-based is what I did for a while when my body needed it. And then over time, I've shifted to a flexitarian lifestyle. But there was a time when my body was craving vegetables, and that's because I had tuned in and listened. So Forks Over Knives is where I started my journey, and their recipes are amazing. Their website is going to be included in the comments below. So find the recipes, find their website, and get even more great recipes and just tips and tricks from them. So also, this is a no tuna salad with chickpeas. That one's going to be included as well in the comments and description of this. So let's just talk about supplements really quickly. So attempting to get all of your nutritional needs from supplements seems to be tempting for a lot of people. I know I've heard a lot of people say, I'll just take the supplements. However, supplements are not intended to be a food substitute. They cannot replace all of the nutrients, such as the phytonutrients found in the fresh fruits and vegetables. Now, I do believe wholeheartedly that everyone should be taking, at a very minimum, a quality multivitamin, and often more depending on that. But at the very minimum, a good multivitamin with minerals. That's important. And it's also important to note that your supplements are best assimilated in your body and by your body when they're taken with whole foods. So let's just talk about the three main benefits of whole foods. Greater nutrition. Whole foods are complex. They contain a variety of the micronutrients your body needs and the phytonutrients, and they enhance your body's ability to absorb the dietary supplements that you are taking to fill in the gaps. 2. Whole foods contain essential fiber. So, dietary fiber is necessary for a healthy diet. And they have protective substances. So, those are the antioxidants, your phytochemicals. Those are things you cannot find in a supplement, and they can only be found in your fruits and vegetables. And a lot of these are even unknown. And a cool little fact is, I just want to say this. This is really cool. This is why I like organic vegetables. There's a study that has shown lettuce that has been exposed to stress. So the loose leaf lettuce that opens up to the sun is actually a stress on that lettuce. So the lettuce actually has to create its own sunscreen, which is phytochemicals, and they work as antioxidants in your body, and they have profound, rather than like, that's why your loose leaf lettuce is so much more healthier, because it's exposed to the sun than your iceberg lettuce that comes in that really tight wound head. That's just really interesting. And the same goes for like organic vegetables. There's been studies shown that the organic vegetables actually have more phytochemicals and antioxidants, and it's thought to be because when you're using pesticides, the plants are being exposed, not being exposed to dangers from insects. So, and a study to support that is lettuce that has been ripped up before it's stored and stored for a day. So you basically rip the lettuce up, tear it, put it in a bag, in like a Ziploc bag, press out all the air, and then you just put little pinholes with in the bag, store that for 24 hours, and they test the lettuce before storage and after storage, and there are more phytochemicals and antioxidants because of the stress of being torn. It's believed that the vegetables, it's nature is perfect and intelligent, and there's an intelligence sometimes beyond what we can really understand, but that is adaptive biology right there. So the lettuce thinks it's being attacked and produces these phytochemicals and antioxidants, and often those are very bitter. So when they produce those, they're less appetizing to whatever's stressing it. All right, that's a little extra science tip for you there. All right, stay motivated. So this is important. So just like bringing people on your journey, that helps you stay motivated by bringing the people that you love and care about and surround yourself with into your journey. And so as you switch over to a whole foods plant-based diet, check in with your goals. Like, put those on a whiteboard on your refrigerator. That's a really good place to put them, because this will help you stay motivated. And you will find that your goals change over time, and that's okay. Your body changes. You can adapt with them, to them. The key is staying on track, staying motivated. So comment down below, what is your motivation? Share with others, motivate yourself, motivate me, and share with me, like, what is it that's going to keep you motivated? All right. Also below, I have a bunch of resources that I'm going to post. I have books that I love. Forks Over Knife book, How Not to Die by Michael Greger, the China study, which was mentioned in this, the mind-gut connection, how the hidden conversation within our bodies impacts our mood, our choices, and our overall health. That's by Imran Mayer. And A Plant-Based Life, Your Complete Guide to Great Food, Radiant Health, Boundless Energy, and a Better Body. Michaela Carlson wrote that. Omnivore's Dilemma, A Natural History of 4 Meals. That's by Michael Pollan. Also, Meatless Monday. www.meatlessmonday.com is a really good resource. Another one is supercook.com. So back on the Meatless Monday, that could be your first step in setting your overall big picture goal, right? So I have a couple apps for you too. The Food Monster app and the Kitchen Stories app. Again, these are all posted down in the comments in the description of this video. Again, I have the resources listed that I use below. Please visit those, check them out. And here we are. Well done. Thank you so much for listening. And if you've hung in there and you're still listening, I know I covered a lot of information. So you feel free to post questions in the comments below, get some conversation. You can send me a private message, but if you ask your question outright, other people are also going to probably have that question and get help with the answer. So I know that switching to a whole foods, plant-based diet, like I said, it can be daunting, but you just take it one step at a time, and those steps are going to be different for every person. So I promise that you'll thank me later. And yeah, any questions, post them in the comments below. Next week, I have another web class. It's on the science behind happiness. And I'll examine what some prominent researchers and happiness experts have found after years and years of study. So some of these findings are going to surprise you, and we'll also discuss where in the brain happiness is actually triggered, what hormones relate to happiness. That's my specialty. I love hormones because literally our thoughts trigger hormones, and emotions trigger hormones in our body. So most importantly, techniques so you can improve your overall happiness and those hormones, because healthy hormones, happiness actually helps and promotes proper digestion and assimilation of the food that you are eating. It all ties in together. So also below is the link for all of my upcoming web classes. Thank you so much. Also, again, I mentioned I've got a 3-month program. It's called Have Your Meat and Eat It Too. So it's a 3-month program where we'll work together to get you started on your journey. And we'll work one-on-one. We'll meet twice a month for 3 months as we work through your goal setting. And there's lots of support with other people in the program. And you'll have recipes. Again, my email's amy@amycatherineevans.com. And yes, I'm looking forward to it. Good health to you all.